Brothers, imagine waking up every day knowing the chains of fate don't bind you, that the script of your life isn't written by some invisible hand or societal puppet masters. It's yours to seize, to shatter, to rewrite with the fury of a man who refuses to be a spectator in his own epic. Own your destiny, or watch it slip through your fingers like sand while others build empires on the ground you surrendered. This isn't philosophy, it's warfare. A brutal call to arms against the lie that things happen to you instead of you make them happen. And today, we're igniting that fire inside because passivity is the poison of the weak, and ownership is the throne of the kings who dominate without apology. Hook yourself on this truth. Every time you blame circumstance, you hand over the reins of your life to chaos. Grab them back and watch how the universe bends to the will of the unrelenting. You've been fed the matrix pill too long, jobs that grind you down, relationships that drain your D. Dreams deferred to someday excuses, but owning your destiny means auditing every corner of your existence with ruthless precision, cutting the dead weight like a surgeon with a scalpel, whether it's that soul-sucking 9 to 5 or the friends who normalize failure because freedom isn't given. It's claimed through calculated rebellion against anything that dulls your edge. Deep in the trenches of this ownership, you forge it through unyielding action, not endless planning or wishful whispers. Rise at dawn when the world slumbers in defeat. Hit the iron to sculpt the body that's a weapon, not a whisper, and launch those ventures that scare the hell out of you. Because destiny favors the bold who execute without hesitation, turning what if into watch this with the ferocity that built my path from the ring to the boardroom. Why settle for scraps when you can hunt the feast? Society sells you comfort as currency, but true owners reject the cage, diversifying income streams like a predator diversifies attacks, crypto plays, real estate flips, digital empires that scale while you sleep, rejecting the victim narrative that the system's rigged, and instead rigging it in your favor through relentless skill building and network conquests. Hook in deeper. Hesitation is theft. Stealing tomorrow's from today. Own it by deciding now, acting immediately and adapting savagely, because the man who owns his destiny doesn't wait for permission. He demands results, stacking wins that compound into a legacy no force can erase. And let's get raw about the mindset shift. Owning your destiny demands you weaponize discomfort, embracing the grind that forges steel from soft iron, where cold showers jolt complacency awake and rejections in business sharpen your pitch like a blade on whetstone. I've stared down bankruptcies, betrayals, and battles that would have broken lesser men, but ownership turned them into fuel, pivoting from fighter to financier because I refused to let fate dictate my fall. Instead, I rose, recalibrated, and conquered, proving that destiny isn't luck, it's leverage, built on the habits of high achievers who audit their circle for elevation, not elevation for their circle. Surround yourself with beasts who push boundaries, not burdens who pull you back, and watch how collective fire amplifies your solo flame into an inferno. Hook locked. The difference between average and elite is ownership. Do you react to life or direct it? Choose the latter, and every door swings wide, every opportunity bows, because the owner doesn't ask if, he declares when and makes it so. Imagine standing at the helm of a storm-tossed ship, waves crashing like the doubts that have battered you for years. But instead of cowering in the cabin blaming the weather, you grip the wheel with iron resolve, steering straight into the gale because you know this is your vessel, your voyage, and no force on earth will dictate your course but you. Brothers, seizing the reins of why. Our life demands a warrior's throne, not a beggar's bench, and the first battleground is your mind, where the victim mentality lurks like a thief in the shadows, chaining you to mediocrity with invisible links forged from "it's not my fault" and "the world is against me." Reject it outright with the fury of a man who's done playing small. Audit your narrative today. Strip away the stories that paint you as prey and rewrite them as the predator who hunts success without apology. Hook into this raw reality. Every time you play the victim, you surrender sovereignty, handing your destiny to circumstance like a fool trading gold for gravel. Reclaim it now and watch how the chains shatter, unleashing a force that bends reality to your command. Professional ownership starts with precision mindset engineering. Treat your thoughts like a high, stakes boardroom strategy, dissecting limiting beliefs with the scalpel of self-awareness, journaling daily to log wins over woes, and excising the echo O. External blame that keeps high achievers grounded while alphas soar. Andrew Tate didn't climb from the underbelly to empire builder by whining about rigged systems. He seized the reins, auditing every setback as a signal to pivot harder, proving that Destiny's Forge isn't kind. It's brutal, demanding relentless will to hammer excuses into oblivion and shape your path with unyielding strikes. Engage the shift fully. Declare war on excuses, not as a fleeting vow, but a daily doctrine. Rising at dawn to affirm your agency with actions that echo louder than words. Perhaps launching that side hustle despite the fear of failure, or negotiating bolder in meetings where others fold. Why? Because victimhood is a self-imposed prison. Bars built from blame that corrodes confidence and compounds into a life of quiet regret. But warriors know freedom lies in ownership, where challenges become canvases for your masterpiece. Hook yourself deeper. Excuses are the opium of the ordinary, numbing ambition. Until you're addicted to inertia, kick them cold, and the high of autonomy hits like adrenaline, propelling you past plateaus to peaks others only gaze at from afar. Make it tactical. Implement a no-victim protocol in your routine, responding to every obstacle with 3 ownership questions. What can I control here? How does this serve my empire? What's my... In a sprint but a siege, each resisted excuse of victory that fortifies your fortress against future foes. Hook locked. The man who blames the storm never learns to sail. The owner who harnesses it builds fleets that conquer oceans. Professionalize this war with dashboards of dominance. Track mindset metrics weekly, from affirmation adherence to action velocity. And watch as the victim fades, replaced by the visionary who doesn't just survive the forge, but masters it, hammering out a destiny that's not inherited, but immortalized in the sweat and steel of your unapologetic will. Bobby RBR. Picture this. The first rays of dawn pierce the horizon like a blade through the veil of night, and while the weak huddle under covers nursing their fears, you bolt upright, heart pounding not with dread, but with the savage thrill of the hunt, transforming that primal pulse into rocket fuel for the day's conquest, because rising before the masses isn't about virtue. It's about claiming the edge that turns Av. Rage men into architects of empires. Brothers, owning your destiny through this early assault on inertia demands you rise not as a reluctant participant, but as the predator who strikes first, launching your ventures with the ferocity of a lion pouncing on prey, stacking incremental wins that compound like interest in a high-yield account, each one a brick in the fortress of your financial sovereignty. Hook into this unyielding principle. Hesitation is the silent assassin of ambition, lurking in every snooze button press and second guess, robbing you of the momentum that separates survivors from sovereigns. Deny it entry and watch fear flip from foe to ally, igniting actions that propel you past the pack. Professional empire builders like Andrew Tate don't wait for the perfect moment. They engineer it, rising at 4 a.m. to orchestrate the day, dissecting markets for opportunities, in crypto surges or real estate undervalues, diversifying assaults across streams that hedge risks while ying rewards because a single revenue pillar crumbles under pressure. But a diversified arsenal withstands any storm and strikes from multiple fronts. Engage the blueprint. Make your mornings a war room, not a warm bed. Chart 3 high-impact launches before breakfast, whether it's cold calling collaborators for joint ventures or prototyping that digital product that scales passively, turning fear's electric charge into calculated charges on your goals. Why the wild predator analogy? Because nature's apex doesn't deliberate in dens. It prowls at dawn, adapting strikes to the terrain. Your business battles demand the same, stacking wins through rapid experimentation like Tate's pivot from combat rings to webcam innovations, where each yes from a deal or user multiplies your empire's reach. Hook yourself deeper. Fear isn't a barrier. It's the forge where fuel is refined. Ignore its roar and it devours your drive. Harness it and it becomes the thrust that catapults you to conquest. Thurs deem dreams. Implement diversification professionally. Allocate 40 to core strengths like skill-based freelancing, 30 to scalable assets such as affiliate networks or stock plays, and 30 to bold bets in emerging arenas, reviewing quarterly with data dashboards that track ROI and risk. ensuring no single hesitation halts your ascent. This savage action isn't reckless. It's refined warfare, where you turn the thief of time into your treasurer by batching fearsome tasks into dawn rituals, conquering the mental resistance that stalls most at midday mediocrity. Tate's playbook shines. He didn't build billions in isolation, but through fear-fueled forays that diversified from physical prowess to digital dominance, proving that stacking wins creates unstoppable inertia, each victory validating the next assault. Hook locked, the weak stir to react, the great rise to rule. Join them by fueling your fears into flames that light the path to an empire unchained by doubt. Surround this rise with reinforcements. Curate playlists of high-octane anthems, affirm your predatory posture in the mirror, and log the launches that launch you higher. Because in the wild of wealth, only the early striker eats first, and only the diversified endures. No more dawn delays. Launch now, stack savagely, and own the hunt that's yours by right. Barrier. Envision the forge of fate, flames licking high as you stand, not as the ore being melted, but the smith hammering it into a blade of destiny, where every searing strike of discomfort tempers your resolve, turning the grind that shatters the faint-hearted into the very weapon that carves your path to unparalleled dominance. Brothers, weaponizing this grind isn't masochism, it's mastery, embracing cold discomfort as the catalyst that awakens your inner conqueror, refusing to dodge the punches life throws, but pivoting with predatory grace, letting each scar etch strategies of survival and supremacy into your unbreakable core. Hook into this forging fur. Pain isn't punishment for the bold, it's the price of power. And those who pay it in full emerge not scarred for life, but scarred for leadership, wielding experiences as shields and spears in the arena where weak men wilt and owners thrive. Professional ownership demands you operationalize this weaponization. Treat discomfort as a daily drill, starting with engineered exposures like ice baths that shock complacency from your system, or high-stakes negotiations, where rejection's sting hones your pitch to lethal precision. Because true destiny owners like Andrew Tate didn't ascend by avoiding the blaze, they bathed in it, pivoting from kickboxing knockouts to business knockdowns with scars that became blueprints for billion-dollar maneuvers, proving that the grind is your greatest gym, sculpting not just muscles but mindsets that outlast any adversary. Engage the alchemy. When life lands a haymaker, be it a deal derailed or a dream deferred, don't recoil in resentment, dissect it like a tactician post-battle, asking what pivot turns this punch into propulsion, perhaps redirecting failed funds into diversified ventures or channeling heartbreak into hyper-focused creation that births innovations others envy. Why dance through the pain? Because dodging it dulls your edge, leaving you brittle and breakable, while embracing it builds resilience that rebounds fiercer, turning temporary throes into timeless triumphs. Hook yourself deeper. Every avoided discomfort is a deferred destiny, compounding weakness like interest on debt. Charge into it and the payoff explodes. Energy amplified, instincts sharpened, opportunities magnetized as you've transmuted suffering into strategy, much like Tate's unyielding pivot from legal lashes to legacy launches. Make it methodical. Implement a SCAR strategy journal, logging each grind's gifts, cold calls that closed doors but opened insights, workouts that broke bodies but built unbreakable wills, and review weekly to refine your reperto. Ire, ensuring no punch lands without purpose. Every bruise becoming a badge of the boss who owns not despite the grind but because of it. This dance isn't chaotic, it's choreographed conquest, where professional rigor turns raw pain into refined power. Schedule discomfort doses like board meetings, from public speaking stints that slay stage fright to financial fasts that forge fiscal discipline, auditing outcomes with metrics that measure not survival but supremacy. Tate's trajectory testifies. Scars from the ring-fueled real estate risks, pivots from pitfalls propelled webcam wealth, embodying the owner's oath that pain is provisional, but the prowess it births is perpetual. Hook-locked, lesser men flee the fire and freeze in fear. Elite owners fan the flames and forge futures. Step in, feel the heat, and emerge the indomitable force that doesn't just endure the grind, but glorifies it as the gateway to a destiny unchained and unchallenged. Surround this weaponization with wisdom, Saint. Udi stoics who savored struggle, align actions with audacious aims, and watch as the grind, once your grim reaper, becomes your greatest general, leading legions of lesser doubts to defeat while you dance victorious through the flames of your forging.br. Envision your life as a grand coliseum where the crowd roars, but only your chosen gladiators stand shoulder to shoulder in the arena, their blades flashing in sync as they dismantle foes that would overwhelm a lone fighter. Now picture auditing that circle with the cold precision of an executioner, blade raised not in malice but in mercy to your destiny, severing the anchors of mediocrity that drag you into the mud while elevating beasts who fan your flames into an inferno of collective conquest. Brothers, owning your destiny hinges on this ruthless curation. Your circle isn't a social club for idle chatter, it's your strategic council, where mediocrity spreads like a virus if unchecked, but beasts of ambition amplify your potential exponentially, turning solo sparks into symbiotic blazes that scorch obstacles and illuminate empires. Hook into this pivotal truth: your network is your net worth, but unexamined associations are hidden liabilities, siphoning energy and eclipsing elevation. Audit them now and reclaim the momentum that's rightfully yours. Professional ownership demands a forensic review. List every influence in your orbit, scoring them on alignment with your apex goals. Do they challenge your complacency, share intelligence on markets or mindsets, or merely mirror your current level, holding you hostage to their habits? Andrew Tate mastered this blade, excising energy drains from his rise, surrounding himself with sharp operators in business and beyond who didn't just cheer but charge alongside, proving that a curated circle compounds capabilities, where one man's market insight sparks another's multi-million maneuver. Engage the purge, wield that executioner's audit quarterly, confronting anchor's head. Not with drama, but with decisive distance, explaining your evolution if needed, but prioritizing progress over politeness, because true beasts respect boundaries that build better versions of everyone involved. Replace them strategically, seek high-caliber connections in masterminds or industry forums, offering value first, your unique skills or fresh perspectives as currency, to attract those who reciprocate with referrals, resources, and raw accountability that keeps your fire roaring. Why the Inferno effect? A solo spark flickers and fades, but beasts breathe life into it, their collective heat accelerating your ascent. Imagine weekly war rooms, dissecting deals or drilling disciplines, where feedback forges faster growth than isolation ever could. Hook yourself deeper. Mediocre circles celebrate survival. Elite ones demand sovereignty. Infest yours with the former, and you'll stall in stagnation. Infuse with the latter, and watch unstoppable momentum manifest as multiplied opportun. It is that catapults you to command. Tate's trajectory exemplifies, from fight nights to financial fortresses. His alliances weren't accidents, but audits in action. Beasts who elevated his empire by holding him to higher standards, turning personal pursuits into powerhouse progressions. This isn't casual networking. It's operational optimization, treating your circle like a board of directors with veto power over your vibe, ensuring every interaction invests in your infinity rather than your inertia. Implement protocols, set elevation criteria for new bonds, shared vision, savage standards, symbiotic gains, and enforce them without exception, logging interactions in a relationship ROI tracker to quantify contributions and call the counterproductive. The engagement surges when beasts collide. Shared storms build unbreakable bonds, their fire fueling yours in ventures, from joint investments to mindset marathons, where solo risks become shared sieges that scale success. Hook-locked, Ancho. RS sink ships, beasts build fleets, audit aggressively, align audaciously, and ignite the inferno that turns your destiny from dim flicker to dominant blaze. Because in the Colosseum of conquest, only the curated circle claims the crown. Surround yourself with those who see your potential as a partnership, not a pity, and witness how your spark, amplified, becomes the supernova that outshines the ordinary orbit forever. Visualize the switch flipping in your mind's control room, where reactive alarms blare at every setback like a malfunctioning system in chaos. But you stride in, override the panic with commanding precision, transforming that jolt into a calculated launch sequence that propels your rocket toward the stars instead of crashing into the same old craters. Brothers, shifting from reaction to command isn't a gentle pivot. It's a mental revolution, where you leverage every setback as a launch pad for exponential ascent, stacking micro habits that compound into an unbreakable legacy. Because the elite don't cower at curveballs, They catch them, recalibrate, and hurl them back as home runs that rewrite the game's rules in their favor. Hook into this transformative truth. Reaction keeps you chained to circumstances' whims, a puppet jerked by external strings. Command makes you the puppeteer, pulling levers that turn turmoil into triumph, demanding results that echo through eternity. Professional ownership begins with this cognitive coup. Treat your mindset like a corporate command center, auditing reactions with forensic focus to identify triggers like financial fumbles or personal pitfalls, then deploying countermeasures, post-setback protocols that dissect the disruption in under 24 hours, extracting actionable intel. What variable can I control? How does this accelerate my core mission? And immediately stacking a habit stack to fortify against recurrence, such as daily debriefs that log lessons and link them to legacy-building actions. Andrew Tate exemplify this shift, rising from the ashes of arrests an asset, grabs not by raging at the referees, but by commanding his narrative, leveraging legal lashes as launch pads for louder lessons in sovereignty, stacking habits like unfiltered journaling and ruthless routines that compounded his combat grit into commercial conquests, proving that elite minds don't ask permission to pivot. They demand dominance and deliver it through deliberate design. Be or engage the upgrade. Imagine a boardroom meltdown where a deal derails. Reactors blame the board and brood. Commanders convene, leverage the loss by analyzing market misreads, then stack a habit of diversified outreach that turns one no into 10 targeted yeses, compounding connections that catapult your net worth. Why the launchpad lens? Because setbacks aren't sinkholes. They're springboards, and ignoring their potential squanders the kinetic energy that could kineticize your kingdom. Harness it, and every stumble stacks velocity, habits layering, like interest on principal until your legacy isn't a line but a ledger of leveraged lives. Hook yourself deeper. Every unexamined upset is untapped upside. A missed multiplier that keeps you mediocre. Command it consciously and watch habits compound chaos into creation, as Tate did by turning tabloid trials into teaching triumphs, demanding results from his resolve that rewrote rules for resilience. Make it methodical. Curate a command cadence. Morning mindset mapping to preempt reactions. Evening equity audits to stack habits like skill drills or strategy sessions. Tracking progress with dashboards that quantify the compound curve from reactive rut to commanding crest, ensuring no setback stalls your sovereignty. This revolution thrives on tactical tenacity, where professional polish meets primal power in vision. Leveraging a health hit by stacking recovery rituals that not only rebound your body, but blueprint better boundaries, demanding deeper discipline that demands dividends in your ability. Tate's playbook pulses here. From ring defeats to real estate rebounds. He didn't react with retreat, but commanded comebacks, stacking sovereignty habits that turn scars into scripts for success, rewriting rules where reaction is for the ruled, but command crowns the conquerors. Hook locked. The reactive react until they're relics. Commanders create legacies that last. Shift now, leverage the launch, and stack the surge that turns your throne from throne in, waiting to throne in possession, because in the command center of destiny, only those who rule the reactions reign supreme. Surround this shift with stimulants, Stoic scrolls, success symposia, and witness as your mindset, once a maze of mishaps, becomes a machine of mastery, demanding and delivering a destiny that's not dictated, but designed. Be or stand tall today and let that roar rip from your core, not as a fleeting echo in the wind, but as the thunderclap that shatters the silence of your ordinary existence, shedding the skin of the sheep who graze in mediocrity while you accelerate through the storm of doubt and distraction with the unapologetic fury of a force of nature unbound. Brothers, declaring your ownership isn't a whisper in the mirror. It's a worldwide proclamation that echoes through every action, every alliance, every empire you erect, refusing to kneel to the knee-jerk reactions of a world designed to dim your fire, because the throne of destiny isn't inherited, it's stormed, claimed by those who shed complacency like dead weight and charge the chaos headlong, turning tempests into tailwinds that propel you to pinnacles where only conquerors converse. Hook into this seismic shift. Hesitation is the hidden hand that keeps you kneeling. Roar it away, and the summit reveals itself not as a distant dream, but a daring declaration, yours to seize if you refuse the refuge of regret. Professional sovereignty demands this acceleration as operational imperative. Treat your declaration like a CEO's manifesto, broadcasting it through bold blueprints. Update your business pitch with unyielding ownership language that demands deals. Curate content that commands attention in your digital domain, and audit every arena for apologies absence. Because Tate didn't topple from obscurity to icon by begging boardrooms, he stormed them, shedding the ordinary script to script his saga in strokes of savage success, accelerating through scandals and setbacks without a stutter, proving that unapologetic volatility into victory. Why the summit call? Because ordinary orbits orbit others' ascents. Conquerors claim the crest, refusing to kneel to norms that neuter potential. Their roars rallying resources that ripple outward. Hook yourself deeper. Apologies are anchors in the ascent. Unchain them, and acceleration becomes addiction. Compounding climbs that crush competition. As Tate's trajectory thunders from trenches to triumphs, shedding the sheepskin to accelerate empires that endure. Make it methodical. Deploy a summit sprint. Daily declarations in a Dominion journal, tracking traction from talk to tangible triumphs, quarterly quests to conquer new crests in career or craft, ensuring no storm stalls your stride but supercharges it. Professional polish turning raw roar into resonant reality that reverberates through realms. This unapologetic acceleration thrives on tactical tenacity, where you shed not just skin but strategies that stagnate. Pivot from passive pursuits to proactive hour plays, like Tate stormed through from fight failures to financial fortresses, refusing to kneel to critics or crises, claiming summits that symbolize sovereignty. Hook locked, kneel to no one, and the world kneels to you. Stand, roar, accelerate, and the throne isn't a tease but a testament to the conqueror who claims it without compromise. Surround this declaration with dynamite, devour Dominion doctrines, align with ascent allies, and let every echo affirm your empire's emergence, because in the Colosseum of conquest, only the unapologetic own the apex, their roars rewriting realities for all who dare to dwell there. Our brothers, owning your destiny isn't a distant dream. It's the immediate command to stand taller, act fiercer, and live louder, shedding the skin of the ordinary to reveal the conqueror within who builds not just wealth, but worlds. Today, declare it. No more excuses, no more waiting. Seize the wheel, accelerate through the storm, and arrive at the summit where only owners dwell. Go claim what's yours. The throne awaits the bold. Stay savage.